budget time. This year we're doing, projecting $3.7 million to come in. It's just a hair, 1.7% increase from last year. That's including the 3% rate increase that we have. It's just recognizing the fruition of it. We have some good news this year and is in our debt service that we've been paying to the city of Mansfield for what seems to be forever. I believe it was debt incurred for of the Mansfield plant back in the 80s will be paid off at the end of this year.
This year.
You won't actually see the payment until January though, because we do our payments quarterly with them and it'll come due January, but it will be paid off.
What's that due to the bottom line?
That actually, that debt service is costing us around $137,000 a year. Which will go back in and of course pay for all the increases that we're having with Mansfield's increase. That way, that's why my sewer treatment line item budget didn't increase that much more because the money's there should be there to cover it. This year, I could put elsewhere rather than increasing that line item. But Mansfield has their annual 3%.
I believe Carl's been covering that, huh, Carl?
They not only have their 3%, you're just talking sewer, right?
Yes,
Okay, yeah, 3% for sewer, but water as well.
and then on top of it.
Before a raise takes place, they have.
Yeah.
And some other charges. Ready for service charges.
It sounds like the postal service because we've already endured one rate increase on postage this year, and in January they're going to raise it again. So I did have to increase.
Up Saturday mail, save a ton of money. I will never understand it. It is that easy, but it's not for our budget.
We are still in negotiations with our union, so my salary line item is set to reflect that. Rest of our debt service, the refinancing of the bonds did help us cut down payments a little bit. So there again, I'm reinvested back into maintenance and repairs. That is my biggest concern is trying to do upgrades, maintenance and repairs. We still have our capital improvements budget and we have to hit it really hard. But as you can see this year, I'm hoping to move forward with more rehabilitation projects.
So looking at your personal service schedule here. Why don't you come to a 5% lump sum for Odell?
Well, as you know, his salary had been capped
Right.
a year and a half back. And in doing the raises that we were negotiating with the union and the increases that we were having across the board, his is actually going to be a little less than what our others had seen in increases in the last 2 years.
We had sent out a memo
For the 3.5.
for 3.5, either in the form of merits or lump sums where you're at in the schedule, correct?
Yes. But his is capped, so it was a lump sum, and I did the 3.5%, and I was looking to give him a little bit more of a boost because he hasn't had a raise in 2 years.
That was in response for a retiree hire. Right?
No, the retiree hire was in my union staff.
We need to talk about that though, because that would be outside of what we had initially sent out in the form of a compensation memo.
Okay, I guess I didn't understand that you had capped it.
That's all right. We'll get with Andrew and we'll get back to you.
Okay.
The contract services are going to be down 14%, but that's probably related that contract projects down quite a bit. What we're doing this year that we're not going to do this year.
What number are you on?
53068. 530,680. About halfway down under expenses. I mean, I assume that was something we contracted out that we don't have to do this year.
Oh, it was the roof that we did for Illinois Avenue. That was why.
And the,
Why don't I see debt service as a line item? Am I missing it?
Because it's
The transfer out.
the bonds is transfer out. The one with,
Last line item.
yes.
Okay.
We also have OPWC loans, USDA loans, and the city of or the debt service that we paid the city of Mansfield would have been included with the sewer treatment funds.
For which line item is that? Wait, see the sewer treatment miscellaneous sewer treatment,
530621 line item
530.
621
Sewer treatment has
sewer treatment.
next to it.
Okay. What I'm looking for is a decrease in the 2023 because the debt will be paid off. That can't be the one because that actually went up.
Yeah.
So
It'll be paid off, but we also in dealing with the city of Mansfield get a 3% raise every year. So rather than that raising a lot in comparison to the years previous, I didn't need to add much more. I only
Right.
put another 2,000 in there.
150 comes off, but the rates go up 3% every year.
I like the revenue to expense percentage. You don't see that very often. That's helpful.
Amanda's budgets are really good. I don't have any more questions, Amanda. It's always a great budget. We'll get with you on the lump sum to Caudil. It's a great budget, stable. Weird expenses are coming off, right? We got the surcharge out in Belleville, but Darrell Country's raising rates real high and Bianchi's raising rates. So we have that debt service coming off, but the rates are going up. And we have the Belleville surcharge coming off, but those rates are going up. So
But we're staying steady and we're not going to have to raise our rates any more above the 3%. That's all we're trying to do is to maintain and stay within that 3%, even with the increase in price.
Knocking on wood.
No, I'm
Carl's,
My lips.
you know,
Texas.
I am trying my best to do everything with where we're at, and the projection for the next few years is where that's going to stay. I mean, we're having a lot of problems with getting supplies and things that we need. Right now, my meter change out project is on delay because it's a 24-week wait to get.
how's that generator coming?
So they're making progress and getting things ordered and ready.
2020.
March. 2027. No.
Utilities is the same as this year.
Yes.
Comfortable with that?
Yes.
Concerned with utilities?
At this
I say my own utilities.
At this point, I am. We've done a lot of saving, repairs and things. Just in even lighting alone has helped our utility budget. So I didn't feel that we needed to move money. If I have to come back to you, I will later. But I think we're pretty stable on that.
I don't have any more questions. Carl, Al? Al?
None for me. No, none.
No questions? What a waste. No humor on a Tuesday, huh?
I just got it.
All right, Amanda, great job as always.
Thank you, guys.
Talk to you. All right, let's move on to our logistical items. Should I certify the record of proceedings for November 3rd, 2022?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes. Motion to approve requisitions.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Yes. Okay, next up, printer, sheriff's office added a couple printers, so I'll ask for a motion to authorize an addition to the cost per copy contract with Toshiba, which is 0.065.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes. Okay, motion to accept Huron County's contract cancellation for building services.
So moved.
I'll go along with that.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
All right, next up, we have a request to update a job description and the points associated with that position. This is for the office manager position at Dayspring. We have a new job description attached. I don't know if you saw my email this morning. I believe the points are incorrect. The pay grade would still be a 12. But in my email to Jenny Phelps, pull that up, I show that the points would shake out at 585. And I sent Jenny what our approved pay scales are. And
Is that this morning?
I don't think I included you, Cliff, because you weren't the liaison.
Oh, okay. All right.
I show, I think she's got, again, those weren't corrected. The point factoring fee attached. Experience at a 2 would be 50. And education at a 1 would be 26. And that would actually come to 585, which is still pay grade 12. So I would ask that we approve those with the correction in the total points.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears, Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
And then since that is a change in points, I'll ask that we give a pay raise corresponding to the new points to Heather Nip at the rate of $24.27 an hour, which takes her to the entry level of that wage scale, effective July 1 of 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears, Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Okay, that's it for logistical items. Any questions? Alan, any questions?
Is that Dayspring position a modification of a job, a new job, a replacement of a job, or what?
It's a modification. She's now also in charge of the kitchen and the staff there, and a few other changes were made with. So it's not a new hire, it's a modification of the position.
Yeah, that's all I had. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we will recess at 9:45 and come back at 10:15. Hi, the Richland County Board of Commissioners are back in session. It's 10:16. We were going to adjourn and go into a public, or excuse me, recess and go into a public hearing. We're gonna have to pull that public hearing, and take a look at setting a new date. Reason being is our clerk is out today and so is our county administrator. And we discovered some errors in the potential resolution in terms of dates and locations. So it's just an odd day where everyone is out for various reasons. We will, once we get everything sorted out, we will put out advertising for another public hearing and go from there. Okay, we'll go into yet another recess and come back at 10:30 for the veterans budget hearing. Yeah. Okay, it is 10:30. We are back in session. Richland County Board of Commissioners are joined by our veteran service team, and they are here to discuss their budget. So take it away.
Well, I think you've already received our budget request. There's only one difference in one of it is on our commissioners to 5-year appropriations times we put in for a raise for starting on January 1st of this year. I think that's a major thing that, everything else is just our normal budget. Been basically the same as we did last year. It's not too much difference. And we still have taken in this year. I don't know if you read your reports or not, but as of 10/22, $3,854,481.88 that's came back to the county for that's coming back in that we've got from Richland County.
Just you do not, I'm looking at this correctly, that you are not asking for a clerk receptionist in 2023. I don't see an hourly wage associated. I show that the receptionist left.
Yeah.
In 2021.
Have
Oh, you are. Okay, so you are.
Yeah, we had 2 of them, and one of the part-times left and one of them went to full-time.
You have hours per week though at 40,
Correct.
but then you only show base salary for 2023 of 4,500.
Yeah.
So I couldn't follow if you're
You
working.
could always just put in that amount just in case we needed it. If we had to hire someone else, or at one point years ago, we had to have someone come in when a person was off ill.
I don't think you get what they're trying to say. I'm sorry.
Right. I mean, if they're going to be working, how much will the receptionist be working a week?
Tori Dill on the last page, she's going to be working 40 hours a week. For salary.
So how do you have 4,500 in
Looking at that one up
salary?
there.
Okay. That's in case we needed, we put that in there in case we needed to, because of vacations and stuff like that. The $4,500. But actually, if you go down to 510200 down to Dell, Tori, that is the lady that is our receptionist. That is her hours there.
Yeah.
On
So
that,
you're saying you're really only going to need $4,500 on the year, but that person really won't be working for 40 hours a week.
No, I
No.
should take that out.
That's where I was. Yeah, that's why I was. That's why I said, saying, wait a minute, man, that's not very.
I put
That's
that in there
like
to,
minimum. That's not even minimum.
no, we will take that out. We're sorry.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure I was that right.
I think Sue was thinking something else and the figures weren't quite there, so. But we do have a full-time employee receptionist, and that is Miss Dill.
Right.
The increase you're talking about was for one board member.
That's correct. Raises until they're appointed at the year that they're appointed.
Five-year term.
If you had to ballpark, so you guys, the board meets 50 times a year, right?
me too.
52 times a year.
Every week, yeah.
That's 2 hours a meeting. We'll say 2 hours. Well, I mean, rounding up. So.
Yeah.
All right. 104. And what is the training requirement in a given year?
You have to be certified just like we do. They have to go to school in order to be certified by the state of Ohio.
So how many hours would that be?
depends, if they go to all the functions. I think the schools are normally 8 hours, so you're talking probably 24 hours training through the state.
We'll even go 25 on that. That's 129. If you added, let's say like another 71 hours for events or whatever, that would take you up to 200.
Correct.
So if I did 10,524.8 divided by 200, that'd be $52.62 an hour.
If you go purely on the hours, yes.
That would be the highest
But you have to realize what they're getting is acceptable to all the other counties. So, when you're saying that it's only for the hours, you're not looking at the hours they spend out of the office to go to, they've been to national cemeteries with us. They've been to every board meeting in Richland County for the veterans organizations they go to. They go to the DAV, American Legion, VFWs. They go to Richland County Council. So there's other things outside of their scope that they go to that you're not aware of.
So could you do this then? Because we always want to compensate people appropriately.
Yes, and if you look at the other 88 counties, the wages that they have in there is very close to any other county.
So if we sent you, Ken, and if that's the case, cool. One of the things we're doing in our group is we're doing wage scales. Okay, so we did that for all of we started with us and then other elected offices. So right now, the other elected offices that are in the wage scales, hold on a second. Oh,
Under 5901, sir, they are being compensated per the 5901 states that we can do it.
which code provision is that?
901. That's where all of our money comes from, out of 5901.
But it,
Out of the 88 counties.
compensation for the board is set by this board, though.
Pardon?
That's the one area of the Veteran Service Commission.
That is true, sir. But at the same time, it says that the allocations will come from us to you for what they feel is an acceptable salary.
And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, can we see the comps to make sure? And if it's good, we're good.
I guarantee you, they are worth every penny that they get, sir.
Yeah. It's always the uncomfortable part of the job, right?
Yes, it is.
I hate it the most. When you're talking salaries and livelihoods, and it's just not fun.
It is. I agree.
One of the things this board in Maryland, it started with Maryland and then went to Cliff. Again, we're trying to make sure we competitively pay people. When we say competitive, that doesn't mean low or high. So I guess if you're saying, hey, these salaries are in line with what other veterans boards makes, can you just send them to us?
Yes.
That's all
Okay.
I need. And then we're good.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
no problem. I don't have any more questions.
Nor do I.
Thank you so very much.
And I'll send you, Ken, just so we're on the same page, the counties we used for our wage scale.
Mhm.
That way you don't have to send all 88. Not asking that. That's not fair.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, so I'll just shoot you the counties we used in our wage scale and you shoot it up to us, and we're good.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, brother.
I do appreciate the good work.
Thank you. Now I can go home, right? Oh,
Humor for the week, right?
yeah. It's worth a try.
Thank you all.
What's the
Thanks,
badge?
guys.
Have a great week.
You too.
What's the badges?
Oh, that's my granddaughter,
Who's she play for?
Cloverleaf Colts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same colors as
Clifford
Clifford.
Colts, yes. Yeah,
But we're Cloverleaf Colts.
yeah,
She
yeah.
plays clarinet in the band.
Okay.
So,
Well, we
They
drove,
just-
we drove by there very close to it going to Lyria last night.
Oh, did
or
you?
Friday night.
okay. Yeah, we had state finals competition in Medina on Saturday. And they got ones on their thing. This is the 40th year in a row that Cloverleaf has made it to the state marching band finals. So, yeah.
Well, Lyria Catholic had 16 people in their band.
Oh, no.
Played the Star Spangled Banner. The only reason I knew it was a Star Spangled Banner is because they announced that's what it was.
Oh, no.
I felt so bad for them kids,
Yes.
especially when the Clear Fork band comes out with 200 kids. Or
Yeah, I know. That
They
was,
got 100 kids in there.
look at the different ones that were at the competition Saturday. There was larger ones and then smaller ones. Yeah. Oh, man. I remember when my son was in Madison, in the marching band and there was hundreds in there, so. Yeah,
Do I included you on the, or wait, do we need to, I'm sorry, we need to recess and come back at 11. Okay, we are back in session, 11 o'clock for recorder's budget hearing, which we are joined by also Mr. Phipps from the Madison area. Michelle from the recorder's office,
Chief Deputy.
Chief Deputy, and then Miss America herself, as we always put that on the minutes. Sarah Davis. All right, Miss America, tell us about your budget.
You like to start?
It's your world. We're just living in it.
Well, I'll start out with this. I'll tell you about my staff. Experience, longevity, and education. Our Richland County Recorder staff of 4 persons are essential in providing valid certified land documents with reference to business transactions. And in case anyone has missed the change in how the recorder's office functions, you must know that the office is definitely going to the cloud. And that's thanks to the commissioners for putting the ARPA funding available. This means we no longer can function without a highly skilled technical staff. Of course, as you can imagine, we must hire only those people who have the schooling and desire to embrace the new world of technology. And there's no going back to the person with the beautiful handwriting. So, as of this moment, no one is leaving for greener pastures. But we do have to recognize that my staff of 4 deputies deserve pay that recognizes they are assuming office duties that previously were accomplished by the auditor staff. For example, Michelle Thompson, my chief deputy, who has been around this courthouse for 20 plus years, worked in several counties as an abstractor, graduated from the University of Cincinnati, and has assumed the Ohio Housing Trust Fund pay-in or out.
You told me Glenn was your favorite.
Oh, he's my little boy. He and my daughter used to play in Madison together. And they came to lunch. In any event, as chief deputy, Michelle is going to be learning the new cloud software along with the new Munis software. And I need to bring this out that for 25 years, the recorder's office was an entity unto itself. It had its own technology on its own DSL line so that I wouldn't be acquiring any ransomware or viruses into the system, because that could cause hundreds of thousands of dollars if we had to rebuild the database. In any event, not only did I have to, along with my staff, learn the software for the 25 years of Avenue that we had, but learn the Munis software if we were going to keep track of our finances and all of that together, which is what the Munis financial system is. So in order to keep the checks and balances, I did learn the Munis system as best I could, but it is challenging at times when there are changes because I haven't been thoroughly trained in that, but I have to know it anyhow. In any event, we're all required to know Munis and County Fusion checks and balances, and we'll be having training in probably February or March on the new Munis system, along with our cloud and simple search system. So we are going to be working very hard in that frame of reference. But Denise Jackson, who came to the office from the telephone company of 20 years and is a deputy recorder in charge of Fraud Sleuth, an online tool developed for county recorders' offices that allows property owners to protect themselves against possible fraud. In the near future, this position should prove to be beneficial to Denise, to the community, and to the community. As the cloud is developed, I look for Denise to be very busy with special projects like going to the title offices, the banks, showing them how the fraud sleuth type benefit that we offer here will benefit them because they're not coming to us. And they need to know that we're spending some money on protection for their collateral. Cindy Schultes is the deputy recorder in charge of Key Verify. I think that explains itself, but Cindy has a college degree in English and is just perfect in her checking procedures. Cindy was a title examiner for many years as well as a school teacher. Deputy Recorder Glenn Miller is the newest member of the recorders team. Glenn served as a paralegal in Buffalo, New York for 20 years or so before moving to Richland County. Glenn has been appointed certified records manager for the recorder's office records. Glenn was appointed for the retention rules and regulations, which is audited by the state of Ohio. Included in the records management is the room of old record books located at Longview Avenue. Also, since the recorder has been in charge of managing the files for most of the public offices in Richland County, Deputy Glenn is assuming this responsibility and looking for new software to manage the many files owned by the many public offices. That being said, all four of the staff are cross-trained in the various office modules and work together famously. There is only one way you would ever know what we do in the recorder's office, though, and that is to spend a couple of weeks with us. So, I planned for the general fund, a total, it appears to me in my adding up some of the figures that it's about 3.77% higher, $12,436 higher for the general fund. For the salaries, it's about 5.5%. And that, of course, was included in the 3.77 also.
So Sarah,
Yes, sir.
notices, I don't believe your salary request is correct.
Okay.
If you look at 19, you're bumping up your staff to $19 an hour, which isn't a lot of money. So your staff works very hard. And so more than 3.5%, which is still fine because it's still not a ton of money.
Right.
But so you're requesting 5% raises from 18 to 19, which is still very modest. But $19 an hour, Sarah, comes out to $39,520. You have $37,440.
Well, this is then dog tags.
But I don't think you're following.
It's just a math area.
Yeah, I think your math
The
is,
total was right. Individuals were wrong.
I think these are wrong. I actually think the salaries are 39,520, not,
Let me see.
It shows the same salary last year's.
Let me see.
Here is.
Okay. Maybe. You're looking at.
your personal service schedule.
Okay.
Good job. The total's correct. But the salaries are incorrect.
Well, I'm paying each of them $19 an hour out of the general fund.
Right, that's
That-
39,520.
And then out of the Ohio Housing Trust, not Ohio, out of the technology accounts, I'm reimbursing them for their IT work.
Correct, right.
Okay,
But if you look, Sarah, you have the same salaries for 2022 as 2023. Yes, ma'am. So if you look,
let me go pass this on, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
Geez, I've been over this. This has been very important to me. I apologize. Okay. Interesting.
Times 2080
Mhm.
is 39,520.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. I believe the totals are correct. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I don't,
Well,
unless you meant it to mean something else.
no, I didn't mean, actually, I guess I didn't check that final. Yeah, I didn't. Someplace I did have it up, but I guess I just didn't. It came up that way and I didn't catch it. I know that 0804 times adds up to. But
It's okay. I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
so, well, while we're talking about this, then I apologize. I I just don't understand why I didn't catch that, but I'm wondering how I got the right answer is what's bothering me.
Let me see. I don't think I got your, but let me see if I got it in Excel here, Kara.
I don't have my calculator.
I think we just got it in PDF, so I'd have to see your Excel spreadsheet to see any formulas.
That you just took from the general and not from the.
Actually,
I gave you each $1 raise in the general fund because of all this work you're going to be doing. So 19. 3080.
$39,520. Again, not a big deal because the totals appear to be correct.
I just don't understand why they're wrong there.
I think you owe me coffee then, right?
I'll give you coffee. I'll give you,
Sarah, the important part is you got
You got the total correct.
You probably must have done this off to the side instead of in the Excel spreadsheet. Filled in the blanks. But we're there now.
We're good. We're good.
but you know, this Excel program has been wonderful because it adds it up and does everything for me. And that's why I can't understand. But I know you don't have.
When we're
time.
done, check your formulas and you'll find.
Okay,
Yeah, go ahead. I can even come over and take a look if you want.
oh, I love it.
Okay. You have to buy me 2 coffees. When I come back this afternoon, I'll come over.
Would you please, because
Maybe. We can do,
otherwise I don't know how I came.
yeah, I'll change the formulas and I can do that. But the total's correct. So that's the
Okay,
important thing.
I'm glad you mentioned it because I didn't have a clue that it was off. Apologize.
The only question I had, Sarah, honestly, it's a really good budget. You're projecting about a 20% increase in fees for 2023.
See here, 2023 for,
I show your revised 2022 fees on the revenue side, 315,490.55.
yes,
You have put in for 23, 391,985.27.
right.
That's a 20% increase.
$6,000
Well,
over that.
I'll tell you what was in my mind. People will be starting, they will be starting to refinance their mortgages and get higher interest rates so that they can write it off down the road.
But wouldn't there be less refinances as the interest rates go high? I mean, we had a flood of refinances.
Yeah, I know, but people tend to refinance too.
Is the interest going up the way they're,
Like right now, it's a lot of commercial is coming through the doors. A lot of refinances for commercial property is coming through.
What is it, let's say, between the first half of the year and where we like, because to me, it'd be interesting to see where your fees are going based off the number, because the banks are telling me it's slowing down too, commercial and residential. Are you not seeing that?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, can't predict. I mean, it's like right now we can make almost $8,000 in our office on a Monday, and the Tuesday we're down to like 5,000. So it's very hard to predict what's going to come through the door, what's going to happen, the next.
So if it's difficult to predict though, and again, if it is what it is,
It really is.
but then how, I guess if it's like, hey, we're on uncertain times here, I guess my question is, how do you get to the 20% increase then?
Wouldn't it be better to go a little bit higher than lower? I mean,
Well, not if you're not gonna hit that revenue, no.
I thought it was more of,
Okay, the Ohio Housing Trust Fund, we're going to have to make it higher because it's in arrears. And when in 2020, we made, 500 and some thousand for the Ohio Housing Trust Fund, but or for 2021. Okay, that money showed up this year because it's in arrears. Then we had to write, what did you call those, letters?
Right, I'm not talking about the,
See, half of what we take in, what I used to do was whatever I said for the budget, I would double that, and that would be for the Ohio Housing Trust Fund. And that worked out pretty good until the year 2021. And then we really made a lot of money for the Ohio Housing Trust Fund. But then this year, we were sort of slammed because,
I mean, at the end of the day,
yeah,
75,000 and a $40 million budget is not huge. However, when we get to December and we are looking at every single cent to pass a balanced budget, it can be significant. So again, that's why I was asking, if you're not going to hit that bogey, I mean, I guess my question is how you arrived at a 20% increase in bogey when it seemed like we are on tenuous grounds.
well, I kept reading I read a lot. And it didn't make sense to go in low because I don't know how low we could go.
But you went higher.
Yes, because the things I've read, I didn't bring the articles with me, but so it's a what do you call it? Russian roulette for that, because you just, I don't know. Right now, you just don't know.
Well, I would prefer that if you don't know, you shoot low.
Okay, well, let's change it.
All right,
I'm willing to.
But I guess
change it.
I have a question though.
Yes.
If I'm looking at your revenue, if I'm looking at the 401,300 though, okay, in Munis, which is your fees revenue, right? Fours are expenses, or fours are revenue, fives are expenses.
Mm-hmm.
I show already year to date, you're at 351, 360.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You only have your 2022 revised at 315.
See, I underestimated for 2022 and I'm way over.
Right, but you didn't change. I mean, 391 may be more appropriate when looking at the fact that you're already over actual revenue.
Well, that was in my thinking too.
So then your 2022 revised is certainly not 315, right?
Right.
So what do you think it'll be at end of year?
Well, I'll have to see. Have you got it in front of you? I've got it here.
I show through year to date, your last payment was November 7th of about $1,300. I'm showing your total fee revenue year to date is 351, 360, 68.
This is expenditures. General fund.
Let me just do something.
Let's see, the remaining revenue that's over is $27,460.47. That's in fees. And that was for October. Of course. Well, it says 28,000 here on the back page, 28,516 over.
I think you're gonna come in around over 400, Sarah.
See, this was for October. And that's plus instead of minus.
Right, but I'm looking at your specific fee revenue, and if I just take through October year to date, divide that by 10 and multiply by 12, I come to 411,541.
Well, okay.
Is that, I mean, Joe, yay, nay?
I don't have the calculator in front of me. And Sarah has the bigger numbers set in front of her.
Well, see, you're right. So Sarah, this was ran through November 3rd. And you were at 342, right? You just handed me this. So you were at 342 through November, right?
Yeah.
But if you have on your budget here that you're only expected to make 319, you're already over that.
Right.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So then this is probably not correct, right?
Right.
Okay. Okay. So then I think in light of that, we can be okay with that 391.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I don't know. I think things are gonna go down
That's what I show proportionally. She's gonna make over 400. This year, 411. If you just, I took out the 5 November year to dates to give me through October. And I divided it by 10, multiplied it by 12, just ballparked it. I came to 411,541.
I didn't know that the Munis software would stop adding money in when it's over what I estimated. Okay,
Yeah, it just reflects it on the report.
yeah.
Okay.
And then I have to tell you so that you change that, right?
We can leave it there for now, but I
We can leave it.
Is that,
suspect.
may I ask you a question? Is that what you were discussing with Stacy about the housing trust fund?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
You may want to ask Stacy when she gets, because it was something, I think Stacy was encouraging her.
Yes, she did.
So that at the end of the year, they don't have to go through whatever extra step the
Instead of asking for,
asking.
Are you talking about a certification, Belinda?
I wasn't in on the conversation. I just, they're running it by me or.
Yeah, she said it'd be less work at the end of the year because the Munis wouldn't care. Munis wouldn't care, but
Right.
but when you get,
I don't think we're talking about the same thing, though.
And
Trust fund is a separate fund. That's
Right.
18.
because of what the payments she has to pay out. That'd be maybe another Stacy. Maybe, and
Okay.
she might be able to make more sense of it.
I don't have any more questions.
Well, I have some on the that fund.
okay, let me find it.
Okay. If you look down. Equipment fund for 22. You're saying that the ending balance is going to be 186,738.95. 23 ending balance is going to be 233,878.
Yes, that figure was given to me by Jay McCollum. Finance. That is monies that call that unauthorized. Gotten that at my stuff. Oh, this is yours.
Yeah.
I conform, yeah, you conform it down to the rest. Okay. Cliff?
I do have some questions on the equipment fund, personal service schedule, 3 employees. And
Yes,
column says hours per week. I think that's hours. It shows 80. I don't think they're working 80 hours a week.
yeah, they work 8 hours. Every time
Hours a
he's a deputy in the office.
Yeah, it should say 40, not 80 is what he's saying.
Third column from the left, hours per week.
Oh, yeah, 40. Well, that was there. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That was Enos's error.
It says hours per pay,
Yeah, that's
hours per pay.
Probably hours per pay. It says hours per.
Yeah, that's what the title says.
what I assumed. I didn't.
This one's,
So it works out.
we're on the.
Oh. Okay.
So they're different. Cliff's right. You have one is hours per week and one is hours per pay.
No, it's hours per week. Definitely hours per week.
Then it shows the 2021 hourly rate at $3. So if that's 2080 hours, that would be 6,240. And it's showing the 2021 base salary at 6,480, which I think should be 6,240, not 6,480. But also it's showing 2021 hourly rate and base salary, but there's no 2022 in there. It shows a 2023 proposed increase of 0, which is fine.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
We're missing-
I don't make this up. This all comes to me.
Right, we send a format, but I think what Cliff's saying,
I didn't have, you're right. 2022 wasn't here, but don't pay any attention to that. Just
Okay, but in the end, I'm looking, if it's $3 an hour additional that they get.
they made $3.
yeah, it's 3 times 2080, which is 6240. The salary's correct.
So yeah, in the final right-hand column, we're at 6,240. But there are errors in the spreadsheet because there's
Correct.
2022 and also the 2021 base salary is incorrect.
Yeah, if they're making the same amount, Sarah, the math.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't pay any attention to what was before the road 2023 because they didn't, there was nothing there for 2022. This all comes from finance to me.
Okay, right, but I think what Cliff is saying, well, you don't even have 2022 in the spreadsheet.
Right. I didn't put it, it wasn't there.
Okay, so you didn't pay anyone out of that fund in 2022.
Yes.
You did.
Yeah.
Well, it's not on the spreadsheet though.
But she's saying she got the spreadsheet, the 2022 column wasn't in it.
So somebody else made a mistake.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
put this together.
Yeah.
The spreadsheet that.
But right, okay, so then what he's also saying, Sarah, is if you take $3 an hour times 2080
Yes.
comes to 6240.
Yeah.
But yet for 2021, you have $3 an hour at 6480.
Yeah. I didn't put that in there. I did.
I can come over and I'll come over this afternoon. We can.
Yeah.
I can do it.
But there've been a lot of errors in this and I just pay attention to the year I'm worried about. And I go on my printouts from Munis monthly. And I keep track of my supplies and everything. And I don't pay any attention to Munis's stuff because it's never always right.
But this isn't a Munis thing per se.
Oh, well,
It's just $3 an hour times 2080 gets you 6240.
right.
Yeah, but $3 an hour times 2080 isn't 6480.
I didn't,
That's what.
I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
Okay, I can fix it. We'll fix it. No biggie. It's no big deal. We'll fix it.
Well, it used to have someplace, you know, I did 2022.
Okay.
It's just not there.
Just have to.
And I wasn't worried about it because I'm not dealing with 2022. And it's the same. It was the same, $3 from the Ohio Housing Trust Fund to the.
Right, here, let me just show you real quick, just so you can follow along what we're saying.
I see this,
Yeah, so these numbers don't match. If it's still
but they
$3.
match here. I never did those numbers.
Well, who did it?
I don't know. Well, I won't say anything.
Okay. Al, you have any questions? We're losing you there, Al.
I said, no, I don't have any. Thank you.
Okay, why, thank you, recorder ladies. We will come back with probate court as soon as I come in. Recess.
You know, I'm not kidding. I really.
Okay. Last budget meeting of the day.
You have to do your own budget meeting, do you?
Anything else this afternoon?
It's not on there.
I don't have it.
Yeah, what agenda are you looking at?
I don't.
Okay,
You need to go off for a minute.
you're back with Jocelyn Patton in probate court and the much better looking and much smarter member of the Badnell duo,
Thank you.
Judge Kelly Badnell. And for those in the public who know Dave Badnell, that is a no brainer. So let the minutes reflect she is smarter and better looking and more successful.
I so appreciate it.
So who wants it? Who's gonna, Your Honor, Jocelyn, who wants it?
Well, we are here asking, of course, for our 2023 budget. We have, as you know, really from last year too, still two rather large projects we're working on, one being update of our case management system with Henshin. Also, we have received in 2022 from the Ohio Supreme Court technology grant of $149,543,000. It was specifically for the scanning project that we have to scan old documents and files to put them into our case management system so that when we go live with the new case management system, you can search records from prior to the time we had computer documentation of them so that people can see them live outside the courthouse. If they need to hopefully print off their file or want to see something in the file, they're able to do it. Of course, there are many records that are not public with probate court, including such things as adoptions and civil commitments. Although I think that with civil commitments, you'll be able to see not necessarily the documents, but that it exists in some of the docket itself. One other thing that is going on with our court, our chief deputy clerk, Mary Tabler, is retiring this year in December. Because of that, we will be placing a clerk, perhaps two, and we did put two. As we're going to lose a lot of valuable knowledge from her. It's been there many years, as well as the fact that she's a very patient person and does a lot of the client contact, customer contact through the window and over the phone with people. So certainly that's going to be a big person to replace. Valuable and very trusted employee. We're sorry to lose her. Happy that she's do things that she wants to do in her life in her retirement. We will be replacing that position. We also have bailiff did resign, so we have that position, but there's nothing changing about that in this budget from last year. If there's anything else you want to add, Ms. Patton? I would say Ms. Patton was selected by the Ohio Supreme Court to do their Ohio Court Management Program certification. Yeah, it's very.
The record reflect that Ms. Patton called herself fancy schmancy.
And so she is fantastic now. And by the time she's done with this, she will be astronomically stellar.
I'm not calling you astronomical.
I'll be giving you.
I'm not calling her astronomical.
I don't put spelling in it.
So whenever she comes over, we're gonna have to say the astronomically stellar Jocelyn.
Goodness. Maybe just stellar.
Maybe just Miss Pat.
That'll work too.
Well, I see Ms. Patton's increasing expenses in the computer fund by 50% for 2023.
So let me get through that.
Bumping up those contract services there, J-Pat.
With our computer fund, that should be still actually what's left over from last year for our case management system. And then we ended up getting an email from Henshin that it'll be about $14,000 for them to do what they need to do for our scanning project to make that stuff go live in our case management system. So, and then just
So that's for what then?
that's the Henshin update to the system so that when the scanning is done, Henshin then has to take the scanning and integrate it into the computer system because it's not already in Henshin. All our current files are already uploaded into the Henshin system, and therefore those ones, the original quote was based on those documents, not adding the new ones from the scanning project. So this will take those that are scanned and then put them into a system that they can be searched, pulled up and looked at. So these are older files. So if somebody's looking for
their marriage life. Somebody's looking for an estate from years ago. Those things that are not currently on the computer will be put onto the computer
Eventually,
system. And all of it, of course, can be searched outside of our courthouse. It'll be online and live. E-filing is also an option. For that, which we ultimately will do. But because so many got grants in 2021 for case management systems specifically, ours did not get one. It was not applied for part of my administration. There were so backed up getting those projects done because all those courts got money in 2021, was doing all kinds of work to update those systems in 2022. So they actually have just started getting to us now to do what we had earmarked for this year, but it won't really be done until 2023.
So I see in your budget, then obviously you have to replace retirements. So if the Ms. Astronomically Stellar, Jocelyn Patton can answer this, you have full wages for the entire 2023 year for the replacements. So you believe you'll have these hires starting the first of the year?
That's kind of the goal. Yes, we already have one person in mind. And the next one, we are just figuring out when we want to, if we want to bring that person in at the same time, or if we want to get that first person acclimated and then bring in the next one. But yes, we would like to have that fairly close to the start of the year. And the same with the bailiff.
That's why I wasn't sure. I saw a full year's salary. I wasn't sure we need.
Deputy clerk. Lori is retiring, correct?
Lori is not retiring this year. She will be retiring in 2024. We will have 2 additional clerks that will be going out in 2024.
Christy Evans and Lori Merle.
Christy and Lori both.
So what do you mean by retention?
Basically for her, after doing my own wage study with what I had, given the fact that we're one of very few courts that have a separate probate court, it's hard to compare Richland County to surrounding counties because we are our own court. And a lot of them that have their own probate court come from much larger populations, cities. So to be able to do that comparison, Lori has been here for several years, and she's currently at 19, where most of those clerks with the kind of experience that she has are actually falling in about the $24 range. So to be able to keep her as a very valued employee, we would like to put her, and Stephanie and Lori both will be sharing and splitting Mary's duties for now to be until we can get someone. We're expecting that Lori will be retiring, of course, in 2024, as she said. So basically those 2 taking on all of that additional work for now would be retention / bringing her up.
I don't have any more questions.
Nor do I. Libby?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Be a record.
Always good to see the smarter guy. No. And it's occasionally good to see the astronomically stellar.
Yeah,
Al, any questions?
I hear you.
No, I don't.
All right. Being no further business, we will adjourn at 11:45.
Thank you.